This is page 1 of the Conic's review. We need to find the equation of a parabola with a focus at 3, 2 and the directrix at x equals -4. Anytime I get these, I always start off by just drawing what I know. This point is over 3 up 2. That's the focus. The parabola wraps around this point. And at x equals -4, that's a vertical line at -4. Now, my parabola is going to be all the points that are equidistant from this point, the focus, and that directrix. So, I'm going to find one point pretty quickly, the point that's halfway in between. If this is over 3, this whole distance is 7. So I can go back 3.5 and have the point -0.5, comma 2. That's the point that's halfway in between. Now that right there, the parabola is going to go through that point and wrap around. That's the vertex. So if I write my equation of a parabola, it's going to be, well, 1/2 in the x direction, so x plus 1/2 is going to be part of it. I'm going to have y minus 2 is part of it. Now, the term that's going to be squared will be the y term because it opens up horizontally. If it opened up vertically, it's like the parabolas we're used to. And the only thing is, what's that number that goes here? That's going to be the 4 times p. And p is the distance from the vertex to the focus, or alternatively, the vertex to the directrix, since it's the same distance, and that's 3.5 over. So 4 times 3.5 comes out to be 14. My equation of this parabola is 14 x plus 1/2 equals y minus 2 squared. Problem 2, we need to find the equation of a parabola with a vertical axis of symmetry and a vertex at -1, 2 and containing the point -3, 1. So let's draw again what we know. The vertex is at -1, 2. It's got a vertical axis of symmetry. Let's try and make this a little bit better to look at. So I'm going to draw a vertical dotted line for the axis of symmetry. And it's got the point -3 and 1. Now there's a lot of ways you can go about this. I'm putting a point at 1, 1 also because of the axis of symmetry. It goes through that point too. The most straightforward way I can think to do this is you can say you have x plus 1 squared equals y minus 2. And you know that you're going to have to multiply that y minus 2 by some constant. Call it k. That way we can open up downwards. You know that k is going to be negative, but we just have to figure out what that is. And let's just put in that point that we know, -3, 1. If x is -3 plus 1 squared equals k times y is 1 minus 2, what we end up with is, well, -2 squared equals k times -1, or 4 equals -k, so k here is -4. That's the number we were missing. We know that it's opening up downwards, so it's good that k is negative. The equation in the end is x plus 1 squared equals -4, times y minus 2. Problem 3. We need to solve for a and for b. Now, the key here, all we need to really do is just get rid of one of the variables. If we can do that, then we'd be good to find the other one and everything falls into place. Now I see in this problem, we've got AB here and AB there. So if I really just subtract the bottom equation from the top, those AB's will cancel out. What I'm left with is b squared plus 2b squared gets me, well, 1b squared equals negative 4 plus 6 is 2. So, is that right? Negative b squared plus 2b squared is b squared. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2. Yep. B is going to be the square root of 2. But I have to actually make sure that I remember that I'm dealing with two things here. So b is really positive square root of 2 or negative square root of 2. And now what I need to do is plug both of those back in for a. I have a times the square root of 2 minus b squared, which is minus 2, equals negative 4. Add 2 to both sides. A root 2 equals negative 2. Divide by square root of 2. A equals negative 2 over the square root of 2. Now let's rationalize that denominator by multiplying by root 2 over root 2. I end up with negative 2 root 2 over 2, which is the same thing as negative square root of 2. Now I also have to put in b is the negative square root of 2. So negative square root of 2 minus 2, or minus, yep, still 2, since negative square root of 2 squared is just 2, equals negative 4. So a times negative square root of 2 is negative 2. A is negative 2 over negative square root of 2, which is 2 over root 2, which is just the square root of 2. So, the answers that we get in the end, when b is the square root of 2, then a was negative square root of 2, and when b was negative square root of 2, then a was just square root of 2. And those are the two solutions. It makes sense that we have two solutions because we are not dealing with a system of linear equations, but actually a system of conic sections. We've got a parabola, and I think another parabola. Hope this was helpful. Definitely check out the next page.